Hello guys, Matt here and welcome to my fragrance obsession. I hope you're all doing very, very well. In today's episode, I am going to be talking about the infamous Joop Homme, or Joop Homme, however you want to pronounce it. I always say Joop, especially here in the north of England, we pronounce it Joop. But I've been told off by quite a lot of you for pronouncing it wrong, so I'm just going to say Joop, just to save a lot of hassle. Of course, you guys have seen my bottle of Joop Homme. Well, right here, I actually own a vintage bottle of Joop Homme. I couldn't really tell you what year this was from, but I managed to pick this up through a friend. He actually he didn't want it anymore, so he gave it to me. But little did I realize that it was a vintage, and I told him it was a vintage, but he still gave me it, so quite awesome, right? But basically what I'm going to do in this video, I'm just going to compare them both. Now, I haven't seen any other videos like this on YouTube. I mean, I've seen the odd video of people talking about new reformulations and vintage reformulations, and people comparing them, but I've never seen it for Joop Homme, because Joop Homme, in case you guys don't know, is a very famous fragrance. This fragrance is like, it's basically the king of clubbing. This is like the one fragrance all guys wear on a night out. I mean, I'm one of them. I wear this quite a lot when I'm hitting the bars and the restaurants around town. So let's compare them. So basically we're going to start with the normal formulation, or in other words, today's formulation. So first of all, bottle design. Now here's what the bottle design looks like. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's a really thick glass. This is 125 ml. If you hold it quite far away, you get this pink around it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the edges of the glass are actually pink, and I think it's what makes the juice inside look more pink. I could be wrong, but it's really, really nice. The next thing we're going to talk about is the cap. Now, the cap is just solid plastic with some ridges on the inside to make it stay on properly. In terms of it staying on properly, it is decent. It's not the best, but if you hold it by the cap for too long, it will fall and you'll get a broken bottle. So you might not want to do that. And next we have the sprayer. Sprayer for this is spot on. So I'm just going to spray some on here. So the sprayer is spot on. We get Joop Homme under there. That's literally all the writing we get. And on the bottom we get some information here. Parfum Joop Paris, 4.2 fluid ounce, 125 ml, eau de toilette, Cody US. So this is the Cody version, in other words, the version today. The vintage looks like this. So it's the same shaped glass. We still get this purple around it. You can see it a lot more with this one. And the juice for this one is like I wouldn't say it was pink, because it's definitely not pink when you look at the difference. This one is more like a brown purple. Especially when you shine it like in the light. Let me show you. I don't know if you guys can really see this, but it looks like a very light purple color. In terms of the cap is exactly the same. Not a lot of differences, apart from this one does not hold down well. It's actually really loose, so I cannot pick this bottle up without it falling, so I have to be really careful. The atomizer is actually really, really nice. I don't know if you guys can see this, but I wonder if I can focus it. Let's have a look here. No, I can't focus that, so I do apologize. But we get the Joop logo on the top there, which I really, really like. And the sprayer is brilliant. Check this out. Really, really good sprayer. In terms of the writing, we get Joop in the classic Joop writing. There is a big difference. The one today looks more modern, however, this one looks more fancy. We get Joop with the famous exclamation mark. We get Homme there on the top. We get eau de toilette on the bottom. And on the bottom here, it says 4.2 fluid ounce, 125 ml, Parfum Joop Paris, distribution Lancaster US Incorporated. So Lancaster are a perfume company. They manufacture quite a lot of fragrances. In fact, Joop Night Flight, which is also a fragrance from this company, is actually still manufactured by Lancaster Group. So Cody bought out the company, I think, in 2008, and since then they have made this fragrance. So let's talk about the smells. Okay, so let's go through the notes real quick. Now the top notes for Joop Homme are bergamot and cinnamon. Now the bergamot and the cinnamon, I would say that this version was much more heavy on the bergamot. The bergamot is very, very strong, very sweet, and it actually has a candy-like quality to it. A lot of people say that this smells a little bit like bubblegum. I will be honest, it does have a bit of a bubblegum vibe. But this, to me, is very heavy on the bergamot in the opening. I would say I get a little bit of cinnamon, but the cinnamon smells weaker than the bergamot, without a doubt. But it smells very, very good. It smells like Joop Homme, you know? I think, for those of you who haven't smelled this fragrance, you need to give it a try, because it's a classic. It's a classic fragrance. I mean, it came out in 1989. I don't think a lot of people realize that. Yeah, it's like a very nice, zesty bergamot, but with a very warm cinnamon underneath. But the cinnamon isn't very strong. That's what I will say. In terms of the opening for the vintage Joop Homme, completely different. Completely different. I would say that this one is ballsier than that version. I mean, whenever people smell this, they're like, wow, that smells so strong. You guys need to smell this one. Honestly, this is completely different. This one, I'm still getting the Joop Homme smell, the very famous Joop Homme smell, but it's more like a kind of warm bergamot with a very dominant cinnamon undertone. So that's what I would say, that the cinnamon note in this is much more stronger. It's actually a much powdery scent than the new version. I think that's why I like this one a lot more, but very powdery. Doesn't have that alcohol smell on your skin as long as the new version does, because sometimes when you spray this, it just smells like straight up alcohol until it wears down and smells very strong and pungent. However, this one, when you spray it, you don't get that alcohol blast, you know? This one is just, it smells really, really good. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's so similar. I mean, there's not a lot of differences in terms of the opening, but I would say that the cinnamon in the opening for this one is definitely more dominant. It smells to me more stronger. It's more powdery, whereas this one is more heavy on the bergamot in the opening, and I don't really get that much of a strong cinnamon smell, but overall, very, very nice. Now let's go through the middle notes. Now, the middle notes are orange blossom, jasmine, and honeysuckle. So, once this fragrance has been on your skin, like the new version, once it's been on your skin for about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, to even an hour, it depends on your skin. But sometimes to me it depends, it's like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. The fragrance opens up very floral, and it smells very soft, and you get the orange blossoms. It's delightful. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I would say that the honeysuckle was also very, very strong in this fragrance. I mean, you have to wait like 30 to 45 minutes until you get it. But once you do get it, it's very oriental. It just smells very warm. It just smells very cozy and very, very nice. But no doubt about it, even though it smells very like cozy and warm, it's still a very playful scent. I think, that's mainly why it's still a favorite to this day for wearing on a night out, because it lasts a long time and, it's playful. So, but I would say that you do get a bit of that orange blossom. It's very soft. You do get a tiny bit of jasmine. The jasmine isn't that strong in this, but the honeysuckle, very oriental, very, very sweet. To be honest, I think it is the honeysuckle that is making this fragrance smell like a candy. But it's really, really nice. It's just very warm. It's a rich fragrance, but I really, really do like this version, I think, in terms of the middle. But when it gets to when it comes to the vintage version is more, I would say the vintage was, I would definitely say that this version is definitely more darker, more manlier, and definitely more heavier on the jasmine. I think the jasmine in this smells like straight up jasmine, no doubt about it. It just smells so floral, so powdery, because this one is so powdery anyway, with that powdery cinnamon note. And it stays very warm, but after a while, it sort of smells not as sweet. So I would say that the honeysuckle in this isn't as strong as it is in the new version, but the jasmine and the cinnamon are very, very strong in this, very strong. But so far, I would say that this was still my favorite, because I'm more into a manly smell, and I mean, this one definitely projects more, there's no doubt about it. This one is definitely more stronger with that jasmine than it is with the honeysuckle. But so far, they are very, very similar, but there are little differences, like especially when you smell. This one, the vintage, is definitely more stronger. The Joop Homme of today is more playful, and it smells a little bit more recent, you know, whereas it's funny because like with this scent, I can imagine a lot of like 20-year-old guys wearing this, whereas with the vintage, it's really funny. I can imagine a lot of maybe 30 to 40-year-olds wearing this. It's very, very, very strange how reformulations work, but other than that, they both smell fantastic. Now let's get into the base notes. So the base notes for Joop Homme are sandalwood, vetiver, patchouli, amber, tonka bean, musk, and vanilla. So this version lasts for a very, very long time on my skin. I get at least 12 to 13 hours out of this. Sometimes it lasts even longer when you use like, you know, unscented hand lotions and stuff and things like that. It lasts so much longer, but even it's just, you know, a normal eau de toilette, spray it on yourself, it's beast mode, absolute beast mode. But with the base notes, what's really funny is, because last night I sprayed them both on my hand. I sprayed this one on one of my hands and this one on the other, and the dry downs were identical, absolutely identical. I would say that if I had to pick any differences, I would say that the new formulation is more syrupy, definitely more sweeter with that vanilla note and the tonka, whereas the vintage version is, no doubt about it, it's much more heavy on the patchouli and the vetiver with a tiny bit of vanilla, if you know what I mean. So in other words, the vintage isn't as sweet on the dry down, whereas this version is. I love both. I think they're both fantastic, but quite frankly, I think I really prefer the vintage because of the fact that it just smells more manly, and it just smells really, really refined, you know? To me, it's funny because like I was thinking to myself last night, I was like, this version, the vintage, could pull off as being like an EDP, and the EDT could pull off as being, well, the EDT that it is, you know what I mean? So for me, I would definitely say that the vintage was more stronger, more ballsier, definitely more masculine, more macho. And I think I overall just prefer the smell because it literally is a very nice powdery cinnamon smell with a tiny bit of orange. It's more strong on that cinnamon and the jasmine, whereas the vintage is definitely more strong with that bergamot in the opening and that sweet honeysuckle with the vanilla dry down. But they're both just so nice. They're both similar. So, I mean, if you do want to get a vintage version, like me, I mean, I've been very, very lucky to get this. But if you do want to get a vintage version and you're dying to know what it smells like, I wouldn't be too bothered, really, because to be honest, there isn't a lot of difference between the two. If you do like Joop Homme and you've always wanted it to smell a little bit more manly and, you know, more balls of steel, if you like, that might be a good reason to get the vintage. But the version that's out today, I mean, a lot of people say it's not strong. I still get 13 hours out of this. So at the end of the day, it's all up to you. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, if you have smelled the vintage and if you've compared both of them like I have done today. So please do let me know in the comments, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts. And as always, I would just like to say a big, big thank you to each and every one of you for showing all the amazing support on my channel. I just want you all to know that it really means a lot to me. And since I've started on YouTube, I've realized how respected I am, and I just want you to know that I respect each and every one of you for respecting me and just showing a lot of support to me, because without you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. So big, big thank you to each and every one of you. But if I had to give this video a sentence in terms of the fragrances, I would just say that the version today of Joop Homme is more playful. It's definitely for a party guy, whereas the vintage Joop to me doesn't smell like you're going on a night out at all. This one smells more like a refined gentleman scent. It smells darker, it's more heavy on the cinnamon. Definitely not as sweet either. I mean, it's a sweet scent still, but compared to the version today, it's got nothing on it. But if I had to rate them, I would still give the original Joop 9 out of 10. But with this, I would give it 10 out of 10 because it literally is fantastic. And yeah, I just love it. It's really, really good stuff. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please let me know what you thought of this Joop Homme new formulation versus vintage formulation video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep smelling good, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.